the universe. 24 hours of music and talk. Radio without limits. That's why people keep coming back for more. That's ubnradio.com.
Char Margolis, Char Communications Incorporated, and CharVision LLC do not endorse or offer for any purpose but entertainment the views of any guest or other expert on CharVision or UBN.
I knew things before they happened from the time I was a child. At the age of 8, I saw a spirit at the foot of my bed and didn't know what it was. And in my 20s, I finally realized I had a special ability that could help others. I have learned that love never dies. There is a spirit world that can communicate with us, and we all have the gift of intuition. Join me, and together we will explore the possibilities of the unknown from beyond and more. This is CharVision. Welcome to CharVision. We're here live tonight, talking to dead people, but also some living people. And I'm thrilled to introduce you to Linda Gabriel, who is an expert in between-life regression therapist. That's what you are. You're a between-life regression therapist.
Yes, also known as life between lives.
Between lives.
Yes, and also LBL for short. People call it an LBL
So
session.
tell us a little bit about you and exactly what that all means.
Okay, so I think it was in the late 90s, a man named Michael Newton, who's a PhD psychologist, published a book called Journey of Souls. And I read that. It's a I highly recommend it, very interesting reading, about what happened to him was he started, well, first of all, he's a psychologist who didn't even believe in past lives until someone spontaneously went into a past life memory.
That's what happened to Brian Weiss.
Yeah, very similar story. And they're great at being the skeptical mind, very good left brain, you know, and this thing happens and they have to come to terms with it. So similar story happened with Michael Newton. And after a while, people started continuing after the death in a past life, and they started talking about what was happening, reporting the similar kind of material that people report from near-death experiences.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's the kind of material we explore in a Life Between Lives session, but you don't have to die. So it's a little bit easier on the body.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
It is, yes.
So, okay, so somebody dies or crosses over, let's say.
In a past life regression.
In a past life regression.
And then we keep going.
Okay, so wait. So let's say somebody like kicks the bucket, and where do they show up first?
That's an interesting question. It depends, because we've been told that you get met by someone who escorts you. Well, that happens sometimes. An awful lot of the time, people are actually quite familiar. They've been there before, and they know where they're going. Or they're met by a whole group of people, their soul group. Something that's interesting that it doesn't go along with what people generally think about, like who's in spirit and who's in the physical, is that a part of our energy is always in spirit. So you may see people in a Life Between Lives session who are alive in the body now, but they're in your soul group there, and then you talk to them on more of a higher self level. It can be very interesting.
Can some of them be your guides?
The people in your soul group tend to not be your guide because you tend to be in a soul group with people at the same level.
Okay,
so your guide or teacher would be
so not everybody sees the white light.
Not always, no. In fact, I was surprised when people would see it kind of gets darker first, almost as if they're going into space first.
Like a black hole?
No, it's more
just space.
like, to me, what I interpret this as is, and it happened with me when I had my Life Between Lives session, that you're leaving the astral planes of Earth. And so you're still somewhat in the level of the physical, although you're non-physical. And then after that, you move more quickly and start moving into these other dimensional spaces that are more light-filled.
And what goes on there? I mean, do people review their lives this lifetime?
Yes.
And that's a lot of people say when people pass over, their whole life flashes before them.
I have not seen that kind of experience, although every once in a while someone will see like this kind of tapestry of how everything fits together and how all the things that happened to them were meant to edify their soul and what they were learning. And that can, of course, be woven into what their life is today. So they review the past life we've looked at, but almost immediately when we get into that space in between lives, we're actually focused in now time. It's eternal now time. So the focus tends to be on the current life.
So how does one benefit
Yeah.
in the current life
Yeah.
by having a regression?
For past life regression, it often is, which I also do, it's a preparatory.
Oh, you do?
Yes, and usually a life between life session has a abbreviated past life, and then we go through the deaths into the spirit world. However, we also do a in utero piece where we check what the person was aware of as a soul before they came into this life.
Oh.
Which is very interesting.
Is that why it's good to sing to your babies in their tummy and talk to
Yeah,
them?
probably. I mean, what I will tell you is almost without fail, people are aware of their mother's emotional frame of mind. I've had people get nauseated because their mother was smoking a cigarette. You know, they can kind of go back. We don't go through the birth.
No.
And it isn't always that people experience themselves as the baby, but they're a soul awareness. So you might even be outside the mother's body, but you know that's you, the body you'll be living in.
Is it
We
like
get
an astral flight?
A little bit.
Like a little bit of an astral travel thing, if
Yeah.
you've ever done that. I don't know. I've done that.
Yeah.
You leave your body and you see your body, your ethereal body goes up and leaves your body, your physical body, and I looked down and I saw myself and I went and I was going out a window, and I looked back and I saw me. I went, oh shit, and I came right back because it scared me.
Yeah, I had a similar experience like that. I was afraid I'd float out and not be able to come back in.
Yeah.
Because you wanted the
Because
roots to
it's
not,
that silver cord that
Yeah.
you have to stay connected to, or
Yeah.
you could get lost in space, literally.
Yeah, I know. I haven't heard about that happening too often, though.
Yeah, I haven't either. But okay, so back to your in between life regression. So, give us an example, if you would, of how this can help someone.
Okay, so many people come to me
An example of someone.
for
You don't have to say their name.
no, I wouldn't do that anyway. So,
I know.
but a lot of people are interested in what their soul purpose is.
Okay.
They want to have a stronger connection with their guide. They want to have a feeling of why they were born into a crazy family, and to understand how that all fits as far as their soul is concerned. Some people come for emotional healing because
Right.
they've been through a lot. And I can remember early on, I worked with a person who literally couldn't go home. Had been, in exile. We have a lot of immigrants right now. I think they're really refugees that are in Europe right now that have had to leave their homeland and can't go back. And
heartbreaking.
this particular individual had about 4 of those, like had moved to one country and then to another and finally had landed here, had a sense of being in exile for most of her life. And so she wanted to know, this is a question people, what did I do that karmically created this? Why am I being punished?
And what did you tell her?
I didn't tell her
What did
anything.
she tell you?
She told me.
What was her purpose?
Well,
What
I
was
just
her
want to
reasoning?
take this opportunity to tell to the masses that I have never found that anyone's being punished in the way that people think of with karma. Usually they've chosen the circumstances for a very specific reason that makes sense to their soul. But when we're here on this side, we might think, what was I thinking?
Right.
This is too hard.
Yeah.
Or you have these people who want to learn a lot
Right.
really fast.
Yes.
So they set up all kinds of challenges, and often their guide is saying, no, maybe you should divide this up over 3 lives. And no, I want to learn, I'm on fast forward.
So their guides are working overtime trying to put the stop on them because they're going too fast.
It can happen. But I would say the number one revelation that happens
what
is that
happened to
they
the
chose
lady?
it.
What happened to the lady? So what did she realize? That she went from country to country to
That
country?
she had chosen that.
She chose that.
Yes.
And did she have karmic lessons with with people in every country?
It wasn't so much about the karmic lessons. It was more about needing to become more self-reliant. So it's more about what she was learning, what she was developing. You might say there was an aspect of her soul that was interested in strengthening her self-sufficiency and not becoming over-identified with any particular place or ethnic group.
So when you're between lives, Do you get to choose what your next life is?
There's an aspect you get to choose elements of it, yes.
Do you get to choose how you look?
Well, now this is something that Michael Newton explored more than I have.
Well, what did he say?
He has found that people go to a place, and there's a kind of formal way this can happen, where people go to a place of life selection, and he says that there may be choices. You can be a male in New York and be a musician, or you can be a female in Indiana and be a nurse, and then there are all these kind of setups, and you'll be set on a path for your soul to have different experiences, and then you choose, maybe you have 5 or 6 choices.
So I've been told, and I mean, I don't know for sure, but I've been told that, like, let's say you're prejudiced against a certain race or a certain lifestyle. Like if someone's prejudiced against gay people, does that mean they come back again gay or the next lifetime so they learn what it's like?
You know,
they can, right?
I haven't gotten that specific kind of angle on it. However, I have had people who maybe hold some prejudices in this life, go to a past life where they were either gay or black or some
different than what they are now. Something diverse than what they are now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's a kind of
now. My sister does past life regression, and she takes people to past lives, and I know that she has guides that deal with the Akashic records.
Yeah.
Now, do you also, like in the Akashic records, it's the records of all our lifetimes.
Right.
So does that come into play with what you do?
Well, actually, from my perspective, I say Akashic, it's Akashic.
Well, what is, I don't know.
Yeah, the Akashic records,
the Akashic records,
I wouldn't be surprised if that's what you're reading when you're doing a reading for someone.
Yeah.
Because it's encoded in our energy field. Now, you're not thinking, I'm going to read the Akashic record, but you have an ability, the way some people can see colors and other people are colorblind, you can see the Akashic data, let's just say that.
Right.
And so a person has all their past lives in their Akashic field.
Like a computer.
Kind of like that.
Like we have computerized lives. Lifetimes.
I think that computers are more like us than we're like them. But they're imitating us.
That's true.
But we have,
that's profound.
And that's why some people, I think it is too.
That's profound.
Let's let that sink in.
Yeah, that's profound. It's true. I think you're right.
So some people have a spontaneous past life recollection. They're just driving down the street one day in a slightly relaxed state of mind, and they start having a daydream or dreams that are recurrent, that feel really real, or they see a place that they've been before. I think that happened with Shirley MacLaine, where she recognized the street.
She did.
And that happens too.
Have you ever had someone that had a physical ailment that was able to get rid of it by being regressed?
Yes, I had one of those experiences.
Tell me about that.
Well, it was interesting, and I wish this would happen every time because it would be great. It happens 25 to 30% of the time, that when people remember a reason why they have a symptom, and it isn't just physical ones, it can be a phobia, for example, that it just spontaneously goes away. And that happened for me. I can speak for myself that I've had a lifelong issue with migraine. It's almost completely gone. It's only when I'm stressed out now that it happens. But for a long period, every time I had a migraine, I would also get nauseated really badly.
Oh, wow.
Which is really uncomfortable.
Yikes.
Because if you throw up and you have a migraine headache, you don't feel better after. No. Like, when you have the flu, you feel better. Yeah. But not with the migraine. Oh. So I was working on relieving the headaches, and I did a session with someone, and it wasn't a very good one in terms of production value. I didn't see a lot, but because we're really wanting to see the whole movie, right? But I didn't see that much, but I got a story. I would see a flash of something, and then the story came in. And it turned out that I had been a healer, I don't know, in Germany, I think. I don't know what the year was, but I saw a kind of outfit, like the Bavarian, the cinched waist and the kind of ruffled blouse. And I had gone into the woods and I had gotten some mushrooms. I was very proud of my abilities and a little bit maybe too self-assured. And I made food with these mushrooms and I poisoned myself. So I saw myself writhing on the floor.
Oh.
I didn't feel it. I didn't
No.
have to relive it. I know some
No.
people think you have to relive all the trauma. I didn't. Mostly it was self-recrimination. I felt really stupid for having done that. I should have known better. And I stopped having I haven't been nauseated since then. And my incidence of headaches
really
went way down.
wonderful.
Yeah, it just eliminated it completely.
That's really wonderful.
Yeah, and about a few weeks later, I was driving down the street, and the rest of the story came in. Remember that I got the rest of the
Right.
story. It wasn't just me. I had served this to my entire, like there were my children and grandchildren. I'd grown children, grandchildren. So I think 5 or 6 of us died as a result of my mistake.
Oh.
So I wasn't ready to learn that at the first session, but later it came in, and I realized that's why I had kind of punished myself a little bit. And
you never let go of it. Now, can we?
Yeah.
Now, I know that there are kids who can play piano
Yeah.
at age 3,
Yeah.
Chopin, and then, I mean, I've always believed that they bring it from a past lifetime.
yeah.
And so, do you see things? When you regress people, do you take them to those places of what gifts they've brought back?
Yeah,
to
that's
this
a
life?
really a great one. I also ask people what gifts they're bringing in, because a lot of people know they're here to learn something, and they're really like, I'm here to learn. But I say, okay, what gifts are you bringing? How will people's lives be touched by you? And they, they're kind of surprised to find out that they've developed things as a soul through that they're going to share as a gift. But the gifts that you've developed in past lives, yes, you can tap into those.
Have you ever helped someone who is suicidal?
I would say that I wouldn't claim to be the first step for someone who was suicidal.
Have you ever had someone suicidal that you regressed?
Yeah.
And
I
what
have.
happened?
This one young woman I'm thinking of, she's not suicidal. She stopped being suicidal.
She stopped.
She had an understanding of herself that was much larger than her ego-identified
Was
self.
the understanding between the lives? Or
I'm trying to
because you took her
remember-
to another life?
I'm trying to remember that particular case, but and I want to tell you that the reason I did work with her is because she'd been under medical care and they hadn't given her the psychological evaluation she needed due to insurance reasons. I mean, I was her last stop, so it's not like,
thank goodness you helped her.
Yes, and she's gone on to actually she does
She's
healing
helping
work
other
herself.
people, right?
Exactly.
She's helping other people from committing suicide, right?
Yeah. I don't know if she's helping
Suicide
other people
prevention?
for suicide prevention, but she is in a healing professional.
She's healing.
Yeah.
So I wonder if you helped take a bit of a demon away from her.
You know, I didn't get that about her. I know that that's something that can happen.
Sometimes that can happen.
It can.
But you didn't get that from her.
No.
You just helped her realize it, and she became more balanced.
Yeah, and I think too, what one is shown, because you get a kind of not just a life review of the life that you've just left,
Right.
but you also see other times, and some people have, checked out of life a few times too soon, and they kind of get it that they're not going to have any shortcuts,
But
and
can
so
we-
they say, let me just stay in this life and I'll learn my
Can we
lesson.
talk about karma for a second?
Sure.
I call it good sharma.
I like that.
But it is important to do good things and to be kind and to be compassionate, and because we do carry this with us, don't we?
Well, you reap what you sow. I mean, it's a good idea anyway.
So you show you
Yeah,
reap.
I mean, in
Okay,
this
good.
life, you're going to be rewarded for that,
Right.
much less next life.
And you want to take it with you,
You want to take it with you.
because
but
can't we bank karmic points?
I think we can.
I think we can too, because I am really rich in karma.
I bet you are.
I try to be anyway.
Yeah, but let me tell you, that whole eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth thing, I think is a very limited understanding. I've run across people who, the person who killed them in a past life is their mother in this life.
Right.
If you took someone's life, you may give birth to them. I know
interesting.
a surgeon who was a samurai. So That's a very honorable
That's
warrior.
interesting.
So healing by the sword now, with the
and
scalpel.
now he's healing with the sword.
Yeah, and it would be fascinating to know if the souls of the people he's treating as a surgeon are the same ones that he killed as a samurai. It'd be really interesting.
Fascinating. Yeah. Linda Gabriel, you
Yes.
are fascinating.
Thank you.
How can people get a hold of you?
They can contact me through my website, which is lindagabriel.com.
We at CharVision and all my friends that are watching I'm sure some people will want to come and connect with you because I can tell that you're so pure and sincere about the way you do
Thank
this.
you. And we feel like we know each other anyway.
We did.
Yeah,
we looked at each other and we said,
Yeah.
Your eyes are, I said to her, your eyes are familiar.
Yeah.
And she said, I know, the same with you.
We both got goosebumps.
We
on
did.
it.
Both just got them again.
Yeah.
So lindagabriel.com?
lindagabriel.com.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
here.
It's
It's been
pleasure.
a joy. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody. Let's see. What's up next? Cynthia. Oh, okay. We've got Cynthia Haas coming up, and she's on Skype. And she's going to tell us about essential oils and healing. Let's see where she is.
That was fun.
Okay. Do you want me to sing and dance right now?
No, we're calling her right now.
Because we have a little break. Okay. So, okay. Bye-bye. Thank you for being here. I want to wish everybody, all the Jewish people out there, a Happy New Year. And I think, okay. And what else am I going to say?
Here.
Okay, she's here.
Yeah.
Cynthia's here. Okay. So, Cynthia,
Yes,
how are you?
I'm great, thank you.
It's so lovely to meet you, and I'm thrilled that you're here with us.
I'm thrilled to be here. Can you see me?
I cannot see you, not yet. Can you
Okay.
press the video on your camera?
I don't see it. Oh, here it is.
There you go. You're gonna.
I'm new. I'm
Okay,
new
wait.
at this.
There you are.
Hello.
It's so lovely to meet you. Nikki speaks so highly of you. Nikki booked this guest today, and Nikki works with you in your essential oils. And and you're writing a chapter for a book.
Yes,
For what?
yes. The name of the book is Essential Healing for Your Spirit and Soul.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we live in a body, so that's my expertise, is helping people to be in a healthy body.
Okay, so what do you do with the oils? Because I don't completely understand what they are. Are they? Do you like candles? What do you do?
Oh no, that's a really good question. I used to light candles until I learned not to do that. First of all, there's 4 different grades of essential oils, and I learned this not in one day. I was using oils that weren't therapeutic. I was putting them in a votive candle, and it was really pretty. And if they were therapeutic grade, I just killed the frequency.
Oh,
So
goodness.
so the highest grade of oils, and this is why they're so healing, is that therapeutic grade are actually a living frequency. And it takes a lot of effort in distilling an essential oil, if that was even your intention, was to keep the frequency alive. It takes a lot of effort. It has to be distilled in low pressure, low temperature, and it has to be grown. The plants have to be grown on virgin soil, no pesticides.
How do you know what frequency or what oil the person needs, depending on how do you range that? How do you figure that out?
Well, first of all, I have to decide in talking with them what their main issue is. A lot of times it's stress and anxiety. So there's oils that are specific for those states. Actually, there's oils that are good for the physical body, the mental body, the emotional body, and the spiritual body. And there's one oil that is really good for all of them, and that is frankincense. So the physical body, if you have a cold or the flu, or you just feel like you're coming down with something,
Yes.
then you would use something that's more really physical, like basil, thyme, oregano, myrtle.
Okay.
Those are really good for killing viruses and
How does it
bacteria.
work? how does it work? You put oils in a what?
Well, there's different ways to use the oils too.
Do you have any in
Therapeutic.
front of you? You don't have any to
Oh,
show us,
yes,
do
I
you?
do.
Can I see?
Yeah, here's one of my favorite ones. It's a little on the stinky side. It's called Clarity. You better believe I was using this tonight before the call.
Okay.
This has rosemary in it, cardamom, lemon, peppermint.
Okay, so what do you do with that? You take an oil and you put it where?
Well, for clarity, and when you use an oil, you always smell it first.
Okay.
And I'll explain that in a second. But you smell it.
Okay, you smell
And
it.
even just by smelling it, your body is taking it in. It goes right through the nasal passage into the olfactory. And it's the only sense, your sense of smell, that doesn't get thought about and processed through the conscious brain.
So you smell it, but how do you keep the smell going? What do you do?
Well, there's different ways. Okay, so this one, what I do is I put it right on my temples.
Okay.
And they're not oily. They're essential oils, but they're not oily at all. In fact, if I were to put this on my blouse, it would disappear because an essential oil is not oily. It's not like a vegetable oil. And it's really more the essence of the plant that's been distilled.
Okay.
Another way to use them is to diffuse. And we talked about earlier how you could put in a candle and diffuse it through your room. It smells good, but you killed the frequency.
So we know now not to use candles with the essential oils.
With therapeutic grade. And
with therapeutic
this is
grade.
the caveat.
But do you is there some kind of something that you do use with fire with them to keep them?
No, I never do.
You don't use fire at all?
No, I only use therapeutic grade, so there's no fire.
So how do you get the smell in the room? What do you do?
It's a diffuser.
That's what I'm looking for.
Air diffuser.
What does that do?
Right here. I don't know. Can you see it? This is a pretty elaborate. This will play your iTunes. It has different colors. It will play music as well.
Can you lift it up a little bit higher? There you go.
See how it's it's wafting through here. So I put different blends in here, and it's also great to clear a room energetically or of viruses and microbes. What people don't realize, and I didn't either until I really got into the essential oils, is that they kill viruses and microbes and bacteria. And so I use these in lieu of antibiotics.
Steam? Is there steam in there?
It's water. This one has water in it, and then I just drop the oils in it, and then it micronizes the oils.
Do you plug it in?
What?
You plug it in the wall.
Yeah, it's plugged in, and it micronizes the oil particles, so it makes them lighter than air, and it comes through the steam.
Okay, so you suggest for if somebody is stressed out, what do you suggest? Whatever you call it, Frankenstein?
Oh, frankincense? Yeah, that's a nice one to do. Yeah. Frankincense is good for all the bodies, but here's a roll-on that I have that's called Stress Away, and everybody loves it.
Stress Away. I want a case of it.
Yeah, exactly. It smells wonderful. I use lavender, and then there's another, these are roll-ons. There's another oil that I use that's called Tranquil, and that has cedarwood, lavender, and Roman chamomile.
And that's for stress.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what if someone's coming down with a cold? What would they use for that?
Well, what I would do is I would suggest that they use the oil of thieves. Now, that's a fun story. During the Black Plague, Paris closed their ports, and they didn't let the merchant ships leave because they didn't want to spread the plague worldwide.
Right.
Well, there were oil merchants on these ships, and they knew the power of essential oils. So they took their oils and went and robbed people that were dying, and they were not afraid of getting the plague. So these oils protected them. So there is a blend that's called Thieves. And when I travel, I
Thieves.
take it internally. I take a capsule full of it.
Oh, wait, you drink it?
I don't drink it. I put it in a gel cap and I take it internally. These are food grade, and the FDA has a standard that it's called generally regarded as safe to be taken internally.
Uh-huh.
So what is in Thieves is clove oil, lemon
Uh-huh.
oil, rosemary, eucalyptus, and cinnamon bark.
I think
So,
this is a really good Christmas present for people.
oh my gosh, it smells wonderful.
I think all of these things you're telling us, Nikki, is a good Christmas present for your boss. Now,
Absolutely.
Now-
Here's Thieves right here. It's wonderful. I have a friend who loves it so much because of the clove and the cinnamon. She'll make muffins and put Thieves in it. Well, I
Whoa.
just said that it tastes good, but it's going to kill the frequency. So she's just doing it for flavor.
okay, now, if people want to get a hold of you,
Mhm.
they can go to how do they do that? How do they go to you? What's your Facebook?
Facebook is facebook.com/Simply Healing Life.
And do you have a website, or just they come
Yeah,
through Facebook?
I do have a website. It'll be up probably the middle of October.
Okay, then let's. Well, what will it be?
It will be Simply Healing Life.
Simply Healing Life.
Simply Healing Life.
Okay.
Because in my 20 years of learning about health and healing myself, actually, is how it started, I found or realized that it's really pretty simple. And there's different components. One is you have to manage your stress. I'm a yoga teacher too. And
you
so I
are.
teach what's called alternate nostril breathing, because when we're stressed out, we're in the fight or flight.
Right.
And that is the sympathetic nervous system. Well, there's not a lot of healing going on when you're in that
Right.
nervous system. So by alternate nostril breathing, and I always use frankincense or lavender, and I put it right here. If we have time, I can tell the audience how to do it. It's very simple. But what you're doing when you're doing that is you're balancing your brain. So the right and the left hemispheres. When we're stressed out, we're in that left logical brain. And over time, if we're stressed out all the time, and so many Americans are, you never get into that restorative parasympathetic healing. So just by doing that, it helps to balance the brain. And the right brain is what's good for creativity, relaxation.
Right.
The body is designed to heal itself.
It is, right?
It really is. And we
And
just
I
have
think
to do a few things
Uh-huh.
that it needs. It's just like I tell people all the time, you take better care of your car than you do yourself.
It's true. Many times that's true. But do you feel that sometimes people are over medicated by doctors when they could do something more simply like this? And I know you're not. I know you're not allowed to give out medical advice. So
Better believe it. And
I
so
understand
I
that
don't.
you have to be careful.
But I do say, let's heal your nervous system. And I had chronic fatigue when I was 40.
Oh, you did.
Oh, yeah. 2 small children. I thought something was really wrong with me. I went to the doctors. I had all this blood work. And they came back and said, I was in textbook perfect health, get on antidepressants. And I said, I'm not depressed. I'm tired. And I know the difference. I just left feeling that the Western medicine can't help me. If that's what they were going to tell me to do, I wouldn't be the person I am today if I took that advice. So I had an inner knowing that that's not going to work, and I knew I had to figure this out myself. And that's why I'm here and who I am today, because there wasn't the internet, there wasn't all this alternative buzz, there wasn't yoga studios on Main Street. So I learned the hard, slow way, but I really learned it. And I didn't realize what was causing my chronic fatigue was I was one of these people that was living in that chronic state of stress.
Right.
It becomes the way of being, and you don't even realize it.
Until you get out of it.
Until what?
Until you get out of it.
Until you get out of it.
It's like
Yeah,
people who are maybe in a miserable relationship and they don't realize how miserable they were till they get out of it.
exactly.
So,
And
but you're a fighter, and I think we're all survivors, and we want to survive. Cynthia Haas, you are fascinating. I'm going to buy some of your oils, and I look forward to meeting you in person one day.
I do too.
Thank you.
I've heard so many wonderful things from you.
Well, I've heard some wonderful things about you too, and I appreciate you being here because we like to learn things like this. Everybody who watches CharVision and myself, we all love to learn all these alternative therapies, and this sounds wonderful. Give us your Facebook again, just one last time.
It is facebook.com/Simply Healing Life.
Okay, everybody got that? Cynthia, thank you so much.
Oh my gosh,
Be
I'm
well.
so thrilled to be here.
Oh,
And
it's
there's
my
just-
pleasure.
It's so much more to talk about, and what
Well,
I
then
love
we're going to have you back.
is it's really basic, simple, almost common sense. But the oils are huge.
You know what my mom used to say? Common sense isn't all that common.
That's absolutely true.
Anyway, it's common sense to you. Thank you for sharing with us.
You're so welcome.
Be well.
It's a
Take
pleasure
good
to be
care.
here.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, so Elisa, my producer, got a call today, and somebody had lost their dog. Maria Menounos sent her a message saying, could you please help our friend? So Maria's friend is here, and it's Antja. Antja's here, and I'm just going to do a live reading, and the only thing I really know about you is that, and I'm so sorry, I mean, if you see, my dog's attached to my hip, so I can't even imagine what it is to lose, to have a dog lost. So if you could just be open about everybody living and deceased, because maybe I'll pick up on a spirit or someone around you that can help me help you. Yeah, can you move over just a little bit? Are we okay, John? Yeah. Okay, thank you. Okay, just say yes or no, okay? Do you have somebody who's like a Johann or Jan or Hans or something like this, a name that's...
There's a Heinz.
Heinz, this is what I'm getting. Who's Heinz?
Heinz is my uncle.
Is he deceased?
He is,
Okay,
yes.
I feel like he's here. And also, is there a Willem or William or Vim or Wim or Willem or something like this?
There's a worm who's alive, however.
Who is this to you?
So that was the dad of a dog that I used to dog sit when I was younger.
Okay, so the dad, okay, so you've always been close to animals.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
gosh.
all my life.
Okay, then the other thing I wanted to know is there's a Marie or Maria or Maria. Who
Yeah.
is that your grandma? Who is that?
No, Maria is actually, believe it or not, but it's a spiritual healer that I've been seeking advice from when I
About
was
your dog?
younger. No, that was
Oh.
back when I was a teenager.
when you were a
she's,
teenager.
She's always been in my life. Like
So
whenever
she's
there
like
was,
a guide for you, a living guide, like
she's
an
kinda-
angel
yeah,
on earth.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
yeah.
somebody's in my head talking to me.
Okay.
So I'm not sure where we're going with this because I just want to make sure I'm picking up on a good energy around you and that I am connected to you, because if I'm not connected to you, I can't tell you anything. And then there's another A initial. So is there another Anya or Annie or Ani or Annie or Antja or and somebody else A?
Very good girlfriend of mine back in high school. Her name was Anne. She was my closest girlfriend. My boyfriend's mother's middle name
Maybe
is
this
Anne.
is it. Your boyfriend's mother's middle name is Anne, and she's living, right?
She is.
Is she
yeah.
helping you with
She's helping from the
dog?
distance. She's supporting
she's
us.
long.
yes.
She's far away.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
on the East Coast.
She's on. Okay. Now, so was the dog at home when the dog left?
No, the
Okay.
dog was at the pet sitter.
Was at the pet sitters.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm getting something that's like an L initial. Is there an L with your dog?
Yes.
Okay. Don't say the name, but she starts with L.
Yes.
Is it like a Lucia or Lucy or
Lucy.
Lucia?
Lucy.
Lucy?
Mhm.
Lucy.
Lucy.
Okay.
I told them I didn't want to know anything about the dog or the pictures or something, and I know you guys have pictures, don't you?
I haven't showed them yet.
Okay. Is this a bigger dog, this dog?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. It's not gray, is it?
It's gray.
It's
Yes,
gray?
she's gray.
She's gray, okay. So did the dog go, I feel like the dog went out looking for you. Did you think this? Did you feel this?
That's what we think. Yeah, we think.
Yeah, I feel like the dog went out looking for you. And does she have other dogs? Because I'm seeing other dogs around.
Yeah, she went to the hospital where I work at while we were gone.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of other animals, mostly dogs, and so she's the helper at the hospital, and so you possibly maybe seeing those dogs, those patients there. She's a service dog.
She's a service dog.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of service does she perform?
She is calming. She reduces anxiety. She is.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you have a dream about her? Or did your boyfriend have a dream about her, like in the last week?
I think she is in our dreams intermittently.
Did you feel anything about her?
No.
Have you put huge signs up?
Yes.
Huge signs up everywhere?
Yes.
I feel like somebody took her.
No.
Did you think that?
We're afraid of that.
Well, see, we're in California. There's coyotes. There's all kinds of crazy things that can happen. But I feel like that the energy of the dog is safe wherever the dog is. That the dog is safe. But I feel like someone took her. And have you talked to any of the gardeners near there? I'm seeing a truck. Like if somebody might have put her in a truck. Have you talked to any of the gardeners in the area?
We've been trying to talk to everyone that we.
Did you say there's a reward?
Yes.
Like a big reward? Like $5,000 or $500 or?
$1,000.
$1,000, okay. I feel like you need to talk to people who work in the area.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like the dog went in a truck and was taken somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not exactly sure where I'm seeing with this, but I feel like there are people who saw or people who know. Like people who live where she was at the dog sitter's house?
Yes.
Did she get out of a gate?
Yes.
Like she was running around and got out of the gate?
Mm-hmm.
So the dog sitter did not intentionally let her go, or she didn't run off a leash.
That's right.
She ran out the gate.
Yeah.
And she's a fast dog, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she could run fast. But she's friendly.
Very friendly.
So she would go up to people and she would be friendly to somebody.
She's shy. She's very timid.
I feel like the dog is still okay, but I just feel like the dog is... I don't know. I just feel like the dog is like someone working in that area knows about that dog. And you've talked to everyone working. Isn't there like a gardener or someone comes once a week to some of these places?
I'm sure there is.
That's where I would go and I would talk to people. And because I'm feeling that whoever would speak up, that they would want the money.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like they're people who would just... Also, I feel like you need to look online for people selling dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Have you done this?
We have started doing that.
No,
yeah.
you need to do this more diligently, of people selling dogs and looking for it. Where's her chip?
It's in her neck.
Her chip is in her neck.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't contact her with her chip?
No, it's not a GPS system, unfortunately.
What is it? Why do we have chips in our animals?
That's a really good question. So ultimately, somebody has to scan the chip so that the number comes up, and then the number has to be called in with the chip company. And then our address and contact information will come up.
Is there a machine that does it? Like,
It's a little scanner, yeah. It's a
so
little,
can you get one of those scanners
yeah.
and start going to every dog that looks like this?
Yeah, I mean, we have one of those scanners at the hospital, which I have access to. I personally, obviously, will recognize my dog without a scanner. So
I feel like you need to talk to the people in the area. I feel like somebody took the dog. I feel like the dog
she
is.
got lost.
Yeah, I just feel like it. I feel like she ran, and I feel like she ran looking for you. So what's the direction towards your home?
So she got lost in Venice, and I live in West Hollywood. So there's about 11 or 10 and a half miles in
Have you looked at every humane society, everything? People at home. We are animal lovers, all of us on CharVision, most all of us that I think. And God only knows I can't imagine what you're going through. I just can't even imagine it because, I just can't imagine it. So if anybody at home is watching and you have a feeling or an instinct or an intuitive feeling about this, let's help Antje, because if you've seen a dog that's been put up for sale, you should look on Craigslist, you should look on eBay, you should look on, and also keep calling all the shelters. I feel like if there's a mass group, if everybody's working together and everybody, see, I've always thought this, if we could take one problem in the world, just one problem, and everybody in the world worked at that one problem, everybody together, one problem at a time, we could heal so many things in our world. And this is a way where we could try to help find your Lucy. I still feel like she's findable.
I hope you're right.
Yeah, I feel it. So if there's anybody at home, how can people get a hold of you?
Lucy has her own website on Facebook.
And what is that?
That is Lucy Heinz is Lost.
Heinz,
Lucy
H-E-I-N-Z?
H-I-N-Z, that's my last name.
H-I-N-Z,
Yeah,
okay.
Lucy Heinz is Lost. And so we created this Facebook site for her so that we can spread the word and reach out to the community, and that people can kind of tune in for updates and for meetings and for just activities that are scheduled to
Lucy
help find
Heinz
her.
is Lost. And I really feel like she went in a direction. You know that area, I'm seeing like that area, I know it's like when I drive to the airport and there's like hills, I'm seeing like hills and like on the way to the airport, like near La Cienega or La Brea, I'm not even sure, but I don't know, would you take that route to get to back?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, it's usually a route that we take.
Can we have her picture up? Is she a greyhound?
No,
What is she?
She's a gray pit bull.
Oh, she's a gray pit bull. Oh, she is gray though.
Yeah,
I saw
she's-
her being gray.
Yeah, she's gray.
Okay, so John's going to put her picture up. Oh, what a sweetheart.
Cycling through them.
But I feel like somebody, how old is she?
She's 3 now.
Oh. Show the dog again. If anybody has seen this dog in the Los Angeles area, Venice, West Hollywood area, please call us. I mean, I understand if she's a pit bull, that's a whole other story because you're worried that she's going to be like taken, because people fight pit bulls. But I don't really feel that now. But I feel like somebody would try to sell her.
Yeah.
And that's where I think you need to go and stay on top of that. I still feel that there's hope. I'm not God, I don't walk on water, but I still feel like there's hope.
That makes me feel hopeful.
Yeah, and if you get any gut feelings or intuitive feelings, to get in your car like at 3 in the morning and drive around where it's more quiet, I would do that. But I feel like you need to talk to people working in down those streets in that area.
Okay. Look for witnesses.
Yes, because I feel like somebody put her in a truck.
Okay.
Okay, it's the best I can tell you right now. If I get any more instincts or feelings about this, I promise I will call you.
Thank you so much.
If I get any feelings, and sometimes I do, but you got to think positive.
Yes,
And
that's what I'm doing.
picture her home and well and with you, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
Thank you so much.
So,
it means
so,
so
so
much to
sorry.
me. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Well, everybody at home, please, if you have any intuitive feeling, the website's underneath there. You've got it down, John.
Yeah.
Contact Antja, and let's everybody pray that Lucy comes home. Well, here we're wrapping up another evening of CharVision, and I appreciate all your support, all your love, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Take good care.
If you like what you've seen on CharVision, then go to char.net and book a personal reading with me, or join a group reading, or join one of my workshops where I teach you to be psychic and intuitive.